everybody out there in podcast land. I'm Mixlam. He's the Miles Revolution, and we are two freaks doing a show. And today we are going to be talking about AGT, Simon's favorite auditions. No, Simon's most memorable auditions. Yes. That's what we're going to be doing today. So, Miles, what do you think about this show?
Well, it was actually better than I thought it would be. Just because lots of those acts I saw. Now, I didn't see the Susan Boyle back in the beginning, back in 2009, but and I know that's clear that we're going to be talking about that, but maybe I'll just interject this now. I think she is the one that legitimate.
No, I can't.
Yeah, that word. She made AGT a legitimate show.
Yeah. Well, Britain's Got Talent anyway.
Yes. Yep. I thought it was interesting that they had some of his most memorable acts were acts that were just on Britain's Got Talent this year. So
yeah.
Guess who's coming to America for the show? Probably both or all those acts.
Yeah, one thing that stuck out to me is how many of the acts were pretty recent, and I think that was on purpose. I mean, they were almost all within the past 3 seasons, with only a couple exceptions. So before we get into everybody, I think we should have a guest today, right? A surprise guest. We didn't even advertise him.
Well, I invited him, so I try to invite everybody. And, I think it's kind of neat that there are actually people who are on the show that I'm pretty sure are checking us out.
Yeah.
Whether via YouTube or whatever, I know that they're checking out. And to me, that's an exciting thing.
Yeah.
We're making some waves.
Yeah, it's nice to have a little online AGT family.
Yeah.
At least starting one. You got to start a family somewhere.
That's right.
And we're doing it here. So, who is it, though? We haven't said who it is yet.
Oh, Lance Armlong.
Lance Armlong. He wasn't on this last episode, but he was on the week before. He was.
That is correct. That is correct. And so he's seems to be kind of an interesting character. So I really am kind of excited to chat with him to see what he's all about. Where he came up with his act and, what his motivations were. And so he confirmed that he'll be on. So we're just waiting for him to show up.
Okay.
One thing that I did with this particular episode, and I made a whole bunch of clips from the show just to make part of our show here. The only thing I goofed on was I should have put a little bit longer breaks because it's one video. And so I should have put some, 5-second spaces in between each video. But, oh well. We learn and we move on.
Yeah, because that's a bunch of the performances from this last show, correct?
Yep.
You know what we should do?
What should we do?
We should stick that link in the comment section.
Okay.
People can see it. So if you're watching us, not while you're watching us, after you're watching us, you could.
Yeah, so I won't make it live yet.
Yeah. So that's something to stay tuned for. And for anyone that's watching, you're probably watching this on tape delay because the vast majority do. We are live at 6 o'clock Pacific every Thursday, 7 o'clock Mountain, 8 o'clock Central, and 9 o'clock for all you on the East Coast. We are live here on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. And all you have to do is search the Miles Revolution. And then I've neglected to do this before. I don't know why. But if you want to follow me specifically on Twitter, just right down here, you'll see my name. @MixLawmOfficial. That's my personal
Wow. So, did you just make that?
No, I've had it for a while,
really?
But I just haven't thrown it out there. I haven't done much with it recently.
Wow.
So I've got a few ideas of things I might be doing solo. I don't know. But if you want to follow kind of this show and anything I might be doing, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. Then search the Miles Revolution. You can see everything on that channel, and we'll do a lot of cross promotion between us, hopefully. So if you like one or both of us, you can follow us. You can find us.
Yeah, you know where to find us.
Yeah, and at the very least, just watch this show because this is where we always are on Thursdays.
Well, do we want to just go look at our clips and?
Yeah, let's go look at our clips, and if our guest shows up, we'll bring him on, and then we'll get back to it. So let's see what we got.
All right, here's the first one. Let's see here if I can do this right.
Looks like he might be on with us actually right now.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go back to bringing him on here. Bam.
All right, let's bring him on if he's ready.
Well.
Oh, hey
there.
Hey,
how's it going?
Awesome. Good. It's great. You look a little different than you did on the show.
I thought about coming on as Lance Armlong, but I realized if I was in character the whole time, I wouldn't have a lot to talk about. So,
so I'm Mixlam, and he is the Miles Revolution, and we are two freaks doing a show. And we do this show. We love to talk to AGT people. We talked to quite a few people who have been on the show. We're both big fans of the show. And we just think, what's cooler than this? Just sitting around and talking to people who have been on America's Got Talent and talking about the acts.
Oh, it's very cool. It seems like a fun show. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Thank you. My first question is so I saw the Lance Armlong, and then I saw Jack off Broadway, and I couldn't really find that, or else I wasn't searching right. What is Jack off Broadway?
Yeah, so that's my stage name. I'm a performer, off-Broadway performer, and I play a different character every time I'm on stage. So Lance Armlong is one of my characters, but my overarching stage name, if you will, is Jack off Broadway.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very good name. I'm not going to make too many jokes since we're a family show.
Yeah. Oh, what do you mean?
Great. but I do like the name.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because on AGT, my name was Off-Broadway Jack because my producer had called and said they might not make it past the censors. And I didn't understand what they meant, so I asked him to explain. And then I figured out, I realized what the problem could be.
Oh, so that wasn't intentional?
It was just
I found out on the phone with them.
Wow.
I was like, oh my gosh, I have a website and everything.
But you're sticking with it.
Yeah, I do like it. It's a good name, and I also perform with the burlesque troupe, so it actually fits really well there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. That sounds like a real like Vegas kind of name.
Thank you so much.
Vegas show you'd see.
That's really nice. Yeah, and if anyone's ever concerned, I can always just swap the position of the words and have Off-Broadway Jack. So.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So tell us about your AGT journey, because we're always interested in how you got on the show. Did they call you up, or did you stand in line for 10 hours to try out? And how did this come about?
Yeah, so I actually sent I made a video of my Lance Armlong act and a few of my other acts, and I think I sent them the Lance Armlong one, but I sent in a digital audition first. I didn't hear anything back, and then I saw got an alert that they were doing Zoom auditions as kind of like an open casting call thing. Sorry, can you hear me okay? My microphone.
Yeah.
But anyway, I went on a Zoom audition. So you wait for like 2 hours in a Zoom room, and then they bring like 10 of you in, and you perform your act for them. And I performed actually a different act when I auditioned because I found out while I was waiting that it needed to be 90 seconds, and Lance Armlong is originally about 4 minutes long. So I quickly changed acts into a different one that I do. And ended up auditioning with that. And then they asked to see if I had any more acts, and I kind of showed them a few different characters and sent in more videos, and they had their heart set on Lance Armlong. So,
Okay.
How many acts do you do?
Oh gosh, I'm up to probably regularly. I have maybe 7 to 10 different acts that I feel like are polished right now. I do a few different things. I do mime boxing, which is where I'm a mime in a boxing ring, and I'm essentially getting beat up by nothing. And I've got a whole variety. I have one where I'm a moth that's in love with a lamp. Lots of different sort of theatrical, almost like short little off-Broadway shows, if you would.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what kind of places do you end up doing those? Just on the street? Do you actually go to a club? I don't know what kind of venue you would use that in.
Yeah. It's well, I started actually with my sister's dance circus. I have some older sisters, and they started a Nevaeh dance circus up in Maine, and we've been performing at like different camps and different, sometimes larger events or bigger venues recently. And they would often need acts for that, where they need, like, you know, a lot of the circus performers have to change large costumes or get into different things, and my acts would sort of come in there as like a sideshow, where, you know, for big costume changes I might come out and perform Lance Armlong or something like that.
No, well, actually, that's a pretty unique idea. And a pretty good idea, actually.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's yeah, I really like it. There's a lot of freedom in being a character actor, because you can, you know, be someone different every time.
So
Yeah,
is that what you consider yourself? Do you consider yourself a character actor, or do you consider yourself a comedian? Or like, what would you, if somebody asked, how would you describe yourself in just a couple words? Like, what would you say?
Yeah, honestly, that was my biggest struggle in applying for the show, because while I have each of these acts that are kind of self-contained, I didn't know if what I am would fit into the format of a show where you come back week after week, because each of my acts are so, you know, different. They don't really have a through line. But yeah, I would say that I'm a character actor. I guess a performer. I know that's a pretty vague overview, but I'd like to say I'm an entertainer. Yeah.
So would you classify yourself as an actor?
Ooh. Yeah, I guess I would. I guess that's kind of encompassed in it. I do sometimes play characters that are not an original creation, but that I put a twist on. I have one act called Who's Waldo, about Waldo trying to find himself.
I mean, you almost seem more like a comedian who interjects some acting into his show or something.
Yeah, like yeah, I could see that, like a one-man show sort of comedian. Yeah. Yeah, I got to get a branding team on it, but yeah.
Have you ever teamed up with anybody else or done shows with other people? Or is it always you?
Let me think. Well, I do my partner Maka Motion. She's also a performer in the circus. She does poi, and which is like swinging, sort of juggling stuff. She also dances, and she's joined me in a few acts as like another character occasionally. And yeah, I guess I perform in the circus with I guess a lot of my acts are one-man sort of acts. Although at AGT, I met another long arm performer, and we got a lot of behind the scenes footage with them.
Is that on your on Instagram or Facebook or someplace?
I wish I had gotten photos with them on my own phone. No, it was just the B-roll team. There was another performer called Sweaty Eddie, who I think they're out of New York. They're a drag king, I think, and their act was having very long arms and playing music on some glasses and making a sandwich. And we were both shocked to see each other. I think the producers were hoping for some drama, because they had specifically requested we do our long arm acts, like out of all our different acts. So it was kind of it was a wild coincidence.
So is that the long arm? Is that something you created then, or what's the history behind the long arm thing?
Yeah, well, that Lance Armlong is a character I came up with and kind of built out the costume for. And the identity of a golfer. If you want to see the full thing, actually, I just posted on my Instagram a link to the actual performance itself. So there's a video link in my bio where you can see the full act of Lance Armlong. But yeah, that's an original character I came up with.
So you don't use Jack Off Broadway on Instagram, you just use Lance Armlong?
Yeah, right now I really need to do, that's one area I'm lacking, like social media management. I need to sort of collect everything into one space so it's easily accessible.
So your brand everybody knows what your brand is, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it'd be nice to kind of streamline like that. I hope to bring up maybe just a Jack Off Broadway account that sort of encompasses all of it. But right now I just have bits and pieces all spread across the internet.
So when you got on AGT and you got up there in front of the judges, number one, what's that like? And number two, did it go the way you imagined it going?
Yeah. So as for what it's like, I was really nervous, but I thought that was good because that's how I usually feel when I perform. I also, they do let you, or at least they let me do a dry run ahead of time, which was good because we had the wrong audio track set up. But they let you go out on the stage with nobody in the audience, no judges, and you can just do a test run.
Right.
And so that kind of helped me a lot. That made me feel like, now I'm ready. I'm excited to perform when people are here. And then, but yeah, it's still really nervous. And as for it going the way I thought it would, it kind of did. When I got booked, I was talking, they set you up with like a producer who's supposed to kind of manage you and bring you into the show in a certain way. But anyway, I was talking to them and they were insisting that I stay in character as Lance Armlong the entire show. And I realized that would probably indicate that I wouldn't be moving on because Lance Armlong is just one act. So I kind of said that to them. I was like, does that mean I basically probably won't move on this year? And they never really tell you outright, but you can kind of tell at least which direction it's leaning.
Right.
And of course, anything could happen. I'm sure the judges have some creative control if they want to, do whatever they're feeling. But yeah, I kind of had a feeling. I was like, I'm guessing this will be a joke act, but I'm still excited to go out there and get on that stage.
I mean, that's kind of the way that I think. If they would ever let me on there, I mean, I'd be glad to just be on the show. So
yeah, and I think that's kind of a good way to look at, like, don't take it personally. The judges are doing a role themselves, and a lot of the banter back and forth that aired wasn't actually banter that happened when I was on stage.
Oh, really?
Well,
yeah, a lot of like they never asked me, like, do you think you could win $1 million? Like, and some of their responses after the fact were alternate takes or stuff they didn't actually say to me. But that's kind of like, I went in with it knowing it's a show about a talent competition that, kind of becomes its own thing. So I think as long as you go into it with that sort of expectation, it helps prepare you for however it might go.
Well, we've been to the auditions, the live auditions before.
Oh, really?
I've taken my family to Pasadena and done that. So
it's so cool.
That's in the audience and sat right behind Howie. So
oh my gosh, did you see yourself on camera?
Kind of.
Yeah.
That's back of our heads, but
hey, that's something.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
So Jack, where are you at now?
Well, I'm in Maine now. That's where I reside most of the time. I perform with the circus up here, Nevaeh Dance Circus. I also perform with a burlesque troupe called Cold Cold Night Burlesque, which is funny because a lot of my acts are just circus acts put into a burlesque show, which I think is kind of a nice feature. Like something I think people forget is not everything in a burlesque show is explicit. Like some of it is just something that's funny or something kind of vaudeville-esque.
Sure.
So it's kind of a nice touch.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So where are you? So just kind of plug yourself. Do you have anywhere that you're coming up, if anybody's watching, where they can either find you on social media or where they can find you performing live or any of that stuff?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm on social media as Lance Armlong Official. Somehow Lance Armlong was taken. I don't know how I missed out on that.
Yeah. I saw that. And I thought that was kind of curious. I thought, really? There's someone else like that? So, is there a space in there?
Oh, yeah. It's Lance _ Armlong _ official is my Instagram account for this act. Well, and that's great if you want to see the full act, because I just put a link to the video in my bio. And then I perform with Nevaeh Dance Circus. That's another troupe you can catch me performing with. I believe they're also on Instagram at Nevaeh Dance Circus. It's Heaven Backwards, Nevaeh Dance Circus.
So is that correct?
Oh, really close. There's just another _ between Armlong and official.
All right. I just want to make sure that we get it out there.
Yeah, no, thanks so much. I appreciate the publicity. That's helpful.
There you go.
So with that, and then I perform with the Nevaeh Dance Circus, Cold Cold Night Burlesque, both troupes that are centered in Maine but perform all over. And maybe you'll catch. Oh, the troupes I mentioned.
Yeah.
Let me pull up that name for you. I have it right here. I just want to make sure I give you the right one. Okay, so Nevaeh, that's just heaven backwards, and
Heaven backwards. So that you're gonna make me think.
I know.
Aven, Nevaeh.
Yeah, you got it. Nevaeh Dance Circus, all one word. And that's an Instagram account.
Circus. That's Instagram. Let's see if I get this right here. Show. Like that?
Nevaeh Dance Circus. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right.
Thanks so much.
Sure. We'll put that on the on YouTube and every place else that we put this. We'll put those links in there. So.
No, thank you so much. That's really helpful. Yeah.
Okay, one thing we always like to throw out, Jack. Once you're on our show, then you're a friend of our show. And so if you ever want to come back, or if you ever want to have us on something, we're always willing. If you ever want to come on and comment on acts with us, because one of the things we do, like after we're done with you, we go through and we talk about the different acts and what we think. You're always more than welcome to come on. Once you're on the show, you then become a friend of the show and you become part of our online AGT family.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a very nice invitation. And yeah, I thought it was really cool. I checked out some of your show to see some of the reviews of acts. I was like, this is awesome that somebody kind of almost like a watch party or something. But
yeah.
Well, I know it's in its infancy, but you got to start somewhere.
So, heck yeah.
And I was just commenting to Mixlum before we went on the show that even Tape Face is acknowledging that we have a show on. So
oh my gosh,
I know that some of the acts are at least aware of us. I don't know if they're watching it or not, but
that's so cool. How'd you find out about Tape Face being aware?
He liked some of our stuff on Twitter, and then on Facebook he actually commented to us.
Oh my gosh! Oh, that's so cool. Well, great job.
Watching Tape Face, we appreciate it.
Yeah, heck, hey, you're a big inspiration, Tape Face. I love your acts.
Well, I've actually written
help Jack out too while he's performing.
Well, I don't mean to name drop, but I'm still a nobody. But I've actually written a song for Simon Cowell, and I wrote one for Howie, and both of them put at least a like on them. So,
oh my gosh,
that was
heck
what
yeah.
else did I expect? I mean, I'm a nobody, so.
I mean, don't sell yourself short. You're doing something. That's very cool. Yeah, great. That's awesome. It's cool to know that like the people you are big fans of like saw your work,
Right.
Right. I did get a chance to I don't know if you know the comedian Ron Lynch. He's a really funny comedian. He does sort of alternative funny comedy, but he hosts a weekly open mic in LA, and I reached out to him after this whole event, and he offered that I might be able to be on that. So that was
awesome.
Very
cool. Now, are you in LA then?
No. I would have to, if I were to join that, it would be also through video.
Okay. All right.
Unless I happen to be in LA for some reason, that would work out well. But
so what do you call home then?
Oh, I call Maine home. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right, Jack. Well, we're going to let you go so we can get to the second part of our show here. But it was awesome having you on. And again, you're part of our online family here. So if you ever have anything you'd like us to be involved in, we'd be more than happy to come on with you to do something. Or if you ever want to come back with us and review some acts, just let us know.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thanks for having me on.
All right.
We got Jack Off Broadway, or also Lance Armlong, as we know him on AGT. Thanks a lot, Jack, and we will see you later, hopefully.
See you later. Yeah, have a great one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Whew, all right. I got all this light coming here from the side of my head. I'm trying to avoid.
Must be Nevaeh or heaven shining through.
Yes. It's right when he said Nevaeh. There is this.
Oops. Looks like I might have bumped something there. So you got me solo for a few moments. But that was Lance Armlong, also Jack Off Broadway. And Mixlong will be returning here, I'm sure, as soon as he presses the right buttons and gets back on the show here. But what we're going to do next is we are going to start reviewing some of the acts that were on Tuesday and some of Simon's most memorable auditions. And you're going to find it kind of interesting that some of these acts were from Britain's Got Talent this year. And the only problem with my video, once again, is I didn't put big enough breaks. So hopefully I stop it as we do our banter and chatter on the video that I posted.
So one thing that I was thinking was this almost seemed like a commercial for Britain's Got Talent. Like, you already watch America's Got Talent, so let's see if we can get some Britain's Got Talent fans, because now you can watch a lot of these things on streaming channels. I'm not sure if Peacock shows Britain's Got Talent, but they might. It wouldn't surprise me.
Well, they're on YouTube. So, you know, I don't know what else to say about that, but.
All right. Well, let's see if we can go through some of these acts. We'll spend a couple minutes on each one.
All right.
See what we can.
All right. Here's the first one. I didn't put the breaks in there quite long enough, and it goes to the other one. I tried to slow it down, and let me go back here. All right. This would really be memorable. Let's see here. Let me get that image in here that everybody needs to see here. We want that one. So I couldn't really find him social media wise, but he was just on Britain's Got Talent this year. So, it was
first
kind of comical, but
first off in the chat, let me say hi to all the people here. We got Sky Ranger, Danger Zone. You guys love the jack off name. Okay. I'm sure a lot of people like that. We got Bush, 1G, Teresa in the chat. Thanks for everybody who's joined us, who's watching us. Want to give you a shout out there. This guy, oh my gosh, I can't even. Out of every act I've ever seen, this is probably the worst. And I've never seen this before. And I'm like, I could not watch it. It made me sick. And I was like, is he going to do what I think he's going to do? And why Simon wanted to help him, I don't know. Why people were cheering for this. I'm not a big bathroom humor guy, though. I don't think farts are that funny. I don't like it when people fart next to me. I'm just not this guy. I know a lot of people are into it. I'm just not into this. It's not even funny to me. I'm like, I don't even want to see it.
Well, I guess it was memorable, but they didn't say whether he got moved on in the show. Hopefully he didn't, because
he got yeses.
Well,
so maybe he wasn't on TV, but he got yeses from the judges somehow.
Yeah, well, it wasn't worth my time watching it. And since they showed that right in the beginning, it's like, really? This is the best?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it was memorable as far as that goes. Something you want to forget.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, you don't want it to be memorable.
It was forgettable. I have nothing else to say about it.
I have nothing. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. Next one here. There we go.
Yeah, that's all right.
Chapel Heart. Well, I did something with the speed here.
Okay.
Whoops, no, I went too far.
Oh my gosh, this has turned into a disaster.
I got to do this. I got to put spaces in here.
Chapel Heart. When I first saw them, I thought they were decent. I'm just not a country guy. I think they have a good gimmick. They have the good look for what they have, and it's not my thing, but I see why they're popular.
Well, they weren't that popular because I remember looking them up back when they were first on the show, and I should have been tracking some of these people number-wise, but they were basically a nobody.
Yeah.
and the show made them somebody.
Sure.
So here's a good example of where the show actually helped someone's career. So,
I mean, I don't follow country music much, so I don't know if they've done anything really since the show. I don't know if they're on the radio or if they're touring big, and I don't know.
They did a show at the Grand Ole Opry here recently.
Sure.
So there's where was it? One of the social media or social websites, I don't know, Facebook or something, they have like 304,000 followers or something. So they actually, it boosted them quite a bit. And they're okay. I mean, they weren't my favorite band, and I know your take on music on AGT, but they were putting on a show.
Yeah,
they weren't still.
Yeah, I mean, they're not like top 10 performance or anything for me, but sure, I'm fine. I'm fine with them. All right, let's move on.
Okay, let's see here if I can make this work better. I'm going to put the normal speed on there and see what happens. That's not normal speed. Oh my goodness, I think I've messed things up. Okay, let's try this.
Oh, there we go. Tape face. So this guy, I remember this audition. I remember when he was first on, and I really liked him. He was definitely a worthy winner, but the kind of stuff I like. This is something that only somebody like him could pull off because the act actually isn't that funny by itself. It's pretty dumb, and this guy pulled it off though somehow. He's a funny guy, and he's able to do it. And when you're a funny person, you can make unfunny things funny.
Well, and it's amazing that he does it without talking. I remember seeing this act, and I remember when he first came out, I was like, wow, this is going to be really unworthy of me watching. And when he came out with those things, it's like, wow, what an act. That was awesome. So I really liked it. I remember it when it first showed up. So I would have put him through. And I'm glad they
definitely put him through. He's one of the best acts they've had.
Yeah.
It's no wonder he's famous now.
Yep.
I mean, this is one of those ones, like when they do AGT things, his face is on like all the shows. So there's not much to say about him other than everybody likes him. I don't know if there's anybody that doesn't like him.
Now this is from 2016, so I'm guessing this is probably back when they probably weren't soliciting acts as much. So I'm going to guess that he probably actually auditioned. Yeah,
that would be good to know. If we had some like older people on the show like this, it would be interesting to see how they got on compared to these people like that are in COVID and after.
Since he was watching my comments, I'm wondering if he would reply here real quick. Let's see here. Maybe he happens to be on and has nothing else to do.
Yeah, maybe if he has nothing else to do, he'll jump on with us.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Let's see here. Where are you? Tape face. Bam.
And like I was saying at the beginning of the show, most of these acts were pretty recent. This is one of the older ones, but they were all with the same judges pretty much. There was just a couple. There's only a couple of the American ones that were before Sophia, and they had Mel B on there. But yeah, they didn't have any of their with like Howard Stern as the judge or any of these older people. So I think maybe that was purpose, that they're just re-promoting some of their biggest acts of the past few years, with an exception of him and Susan Boyle, really.
Yeah. Well, I have a question on there. We'll see if he responds. Maybe he won't, and we can always come back to him.
Okay. And if anybody out there in the comment section, if you have anything to say, anything you want to throw in, always feel free to throw out your comments on there in the live chat. And if you really want, if you get lucky, maybe we'll even bring you on with us. We always like to bring people on and get your take on things for a couple minutes. So feel free if that's you. Number 13.
All right. Calum Scott. This guy is a star. Yeah, he seems to be operating pretty independent of America's Got Talent. Seeing as many followers as he has on social media.
Now, did you know him?
I never heard of him until
I've never heard of him either.
No.
And yeah, they talked about him being one of the biggest people in Britain and stars. I'm like, I haven't heard him. I've never heard this song. But my wife knew the song.
Oh, really?
So, and yeah, and she's heard him sing it. So apparently this song, he's like done this, and this has been like radio song and stuff. So I don't know it.
Well, I was flipping around through his YouTube channel and listened to a couple of his songs, and he's really not that bad. I mean, he's pretty good. So either he's produced really well, or people just like him, just like his voice. So, I don't know that he really didn't sound anything particularly special on the audition. But once again, we're back to this. Most people don't necessarily have a great voice. But you put the right producer behind them and they're a star. So
yeah, for me as a fan of music, not a musician. For me, I always prefer a unique voice over a good voice.
Yeah,
I don't care that much how good you technically are, because people tell me a lot. They're like, "Well, this person's a really good technical singer," and I say, "All I care is how it sounds."
Well, that doesn't even matter.
I don't care.
Really well, and
yeah, I just want a like good song and like a cool voice. So that's all I'm looking for.
I mean, it's like Pink. She doesn't necessarily have the greatest voice, but I love her voice because she has a little bit of rasp in it and belts things out. And so, not a perfect voice by any means. So yeah, the voice doesn't necessarily decide whether you will or won't be, but
here's an idea for a show.
Okay.
Maybe on the AGT off season. So we always ask people in the chat, if you have any ideas of things you'd like to hear us talk about on the show, go ahead and throw them out. But I'm going to throw one out right here.
All right, we're ready.
We should both make our lists of our top 10 favorite singers.
Ooh.
That'd be a good one.
Favorite.
Yeah, we can come up with our top 10 favorite singers.
Well,
we could do one week on like female vocalists and the next week on male vocalists.
Okay.
That'd be good.
Whoops. Top 10 favorite sings. I can't type well fast. Singers.
I think that'd be good. That'd be a good one.
And I'm thinking my list would be completely different from yours.
Yeah.
I mean,
that would be a good it would be kind of interesting to compare and contrast those.
Yeah, it would be.
All right, who do we got next?
Well, let's see here. Bam. We got I decided to cut out the audio because that would make it a little more appealing here. We got number 12, Avery Dixon.
And I think cutting out the audio is going to make it less likely that we get dinged for copyright.
Actually, I took care of that. I figured out how to do it.
Oh, okay, good.
So I'm not going to tell anybody because I want to keep that unique. Actually, I was wondering how all those AGT copycat YouTube channels can keep their stuff up. And I figured it out. So
figured out the secret.
Yep. And they're getting millions of views. And I thought, I could do that, but then that's not unique content. And who wants that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I may make a lot of money, but I want to be known for being something unique, not a copycat.
Now, this kid, Avery Dixon, he's got a story. And so then, I kind of feel bad, but I'm just not into him. I'm sure he's a fine saxophone player. I don't know. I just never got the buzz when he was on the show. I never got the big deal about it. How he went so far and had so many fans. I don't know. I just don't like the saxophone that much, and so I don't know. It's just not for me.
Well, obviously he isn't tending to his social media because Instagram he only has 473 followers. As long as I'm following the right Avery Dixon, anyway. Because there are several on there, and so I just try to choose the one that has the most followers. That's the real McCoy. So
yeah, that's crazy. Only 473. You'd think he, especially his age, because he's a younger guy. And Lorna says, "You guys ain't no copycat. Very unique. He's very good." Thank you. Lorna.
So something I was going to say about him now. I am not a instrumental fan, but anybody who can move around as much as he does on the stage while he's playing saxophone is a halfway decent musician. Because there's a lot of people who can't do that. I mean, I've been a marching band, and that's a tough thing to do, to play well when you're moving around.
Yeah.
So, kudos to him for doing such a good job.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those things they say. I'm sure he's really talented and is good for what it is. I just don't enjoy listening to the saxophone.
Okay, well that's a fair.
And so, I mean, does he deserve to go through? I'm like, I suppose if you're really into the saxophone, it's just not entertaining to me.
Right. For me, the saxophone is an accessory in a band, or someone who does a solo and hangs in the back or something.
Yeah.
So, all right, moving on. Avery Dixon. Next, we got number 11, Ashley and Pudsey. And I thought this was back from 2012, and there's only one Instagram account that I could find, and it's private. So I don't know if she's still in business.
Well, they said she was performing with all kinds of things. So I'm assuming she's probably part of something larger at this point.
Oh.
I'm assuming she's not in a solo act and she's part of some group, because what I can recall from the episode is they're like, yeah, she performed at all these things and all the, So I'm assuming she's in a larger act.
Yeah.
And people probably just don't follow her anymore. But I'd never seen this before. It was a cute little act. Is it like a winner thing? I don't know that I could see it as a winner.
Yeah, but she won.
Cute. It's one of those things I watch and I go, yeah, I like it. And I probably put it through, and then I probably don't have him perform again.
Something I found kind of interesting when they talk about the winners of these other Got Talent franchises in the world, the winners are like, really? That's your winner? That's your best act? So and maybe I'm just stuck up or something, but it seems like a lot of the acts that come from the United States seem to be a step above most of the other franchises. Maybe that's just me, but
yeah, probably because we're the biggest market. US probably is the biggest market. Well, US is a bigger market than UK.
Yeah.
Or
not India
or something. We have a lot more people.
Well, but you take India, where that has, 1 billion people.
Guess that's true. Do they have India's Got Talent? I didn't.
Yeah.
Know it. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. Then they would definitely have.
Yeah, those watermelon smashing guys, the coconut smashing guys. The guy that was I don't know what he was, 9 feet tall or something. I don't know if you saw that or not, but yeah, I think they were from India. They've had several acts from India on here. But none of them were that polished.
Well, people have a lot different taste over there just by seeing their Bollywood movies. Different taste in what they find entertaining.
That reminds me of bad memories. So I've actually DJ'd some weddings where the people were Indian and said, "Oh, you got to play Bollywood music," and I listened to stuff. I'm like, "Oh my goodness, really?" This is what's good. So I don't know. But it's okay. It's probably a cultural thing. It's not that the music is bad or good. It's just my personal opinion. So I don't want to offend anybody out there, who may be watching this. It's probably more a cultural thing as far as what makes an act a good act.
Yeah, it's totally cultural. It's just like comedy. Comedy's cultural. That's why when you watch something not from your culture and everybody's laughing and it just looks like a low budget film.
Right.
And you're like, what's funny about this? So, all right, well, let's get to the top 10.
Well, who's this? Sam. It's funny to me, the 2 acts that got 4 X's. What? I'm trying to understand what that is.
Yeah, he's saying 2 of the people on this list that got X'd out.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to those yet, I don't think. Let's see what's next here on the slide. Or video here. Okay, we got Dancing Dog. Oh, here he is. Okay, this is the 4X Man.
4X Man.
Now, if you've never seen this video, it is the stupidest song ever, I think, that ever got through on AGT.
I will say
4X's.
I loved this when I first watched this a couple years ago. And they were Xing him. I was like the audience. I was like, no, what are they doing? I love this. I love the song. And I was like, there's no way they're going to put him through. And this is a crime. Because I loved it when he was on, and I still love him. I still love the Parmesan thing, and I love his act, and I love his attitude, and I always will.
Yeah. Well, it's very memorable. And it's like Simon said, he couldn't stop singing it. It was in his head. So obviously it was a winner. It worked. The guy pulled it off. So
it's good.
Move on.
Let's move on.
All right. Now they are singing. Simon rolling his eyes. Okay, next one.
I always want some Parmesan, but I'm embarrassed.
All right, this girl, scary, that freaky, but holy cow, does she have a following? And I didn't know her. I didn't know that she won Asia's Got Talent the year before she was on.
Oh, I didn't know she did. I didn't know that either. I didn't know she won that. But I loved her when she was on America's Got Talent. I was all behind this. I was all behind this person. This girl's so good. She has such a good look.
Yep. She's definitely developed it well. And all the videos and everything that I've watched, whether she's, doing a TV interview or whatever, she looks the same, man. She's always in that character. So she's got it down.
Just shout out to Jana McGee in the chat, just passing by. We're watching something special. Greetings from Norway. Thanks for watching from Norway. It's quite a different time zone over there. It's probably morning time over there. What time is it over there, Jana? If you see, it looks like Jana's watching over on Twitch. So we're just looking at the comment there. So thanks for joining us. But yeah, I really like this girl. I was all for her when she was on the show. So I still love her. Still love the act. Love the look.
Well, she's got a good thing going. I mean, she's found her niche. So, 3 a.m.
Woo! You're up.
Well, that's awesome. Someone from Norway, though. Yeah.
Someone from Norway watching us at 3 a.m. That's crazy. Went on a Warhammer 5K lore run. Well, I'm not even exactly sure what that means. But it sounds tiring. And I can go on about a 1K run.
Yeah. I could go on an OK run.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for joining us, Jana. It's always nice to have new people tuning in for the show. So if it's 3:50 a.m. for you now, we'll be on every week at this time at about 2 a.m. your time. So if you're ever up at 2, 3 a.m., you can watch us live. You're always welcome.
So we certainly appreciate all the viewers who keep tuning in to watch our show.
Yeah.
Makes
Number
me
8, Drake Milligan. Now, I do not like music acts on AGT. I do not like country music. This guy, though, I do like. He did always original songs when he was on. His voice sounds amazing, and I'm not a country fan. And his songs are good.
They are.
This guy is a music act that could actually win this show and deserves all the fame that he got.
Yeah. When I saw this guy on AGT, I thought, holy cow, how did they ever find this guy? This guy is going to be a star. AGT just happened to be on his path because I think he's unstoppable. He was so good. I told my wife, I remember when he was first on, I said, I'd buy tickets to his show.
Yeah, me too. If he came around, I'd probably go. So even though I'm not too into country, I like concerts. I'd probably go see him. It'd be a fun show. He's a great performer.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Janet says, I don't know anyone who likes country. I don't know how popular country music is in Norway. So I'm guessing not very much. Not like the southern United States.
But his voice is kind of low. It doesn't have any particular range, but doggone it, he's a great performer.
Yeah.
He puts on a show.
Yeah, definitely puts on a show.
Now, something unique about him, I remember looking him up when he first performed, and he had like 20,000 followers or something on YouTube. And as I got to reading, I guess he starred as Elvis in a...
Yeah, he was Elvis impersonator.
No, but he was in a movie or something.
Oh, he's in the movie?
Elvis.
Okay, I thought he was just an impersonator. I didn't know he was actually in the show.
Yeah. So it was a Netflix show or HBO or something. I don't remember what movie it was. Life and Times of Elvis. I have no idea what it was called. But he did play Elvis in whatever show it was.
Oh, Danger Zone just said in the chat, I don't see a Norway person. That's because most people here are commenting on our YouTube videos. So that's most of the comments you're going to see. This person, Jana from Norway that we're speaking to, they're commenting right now on Twitch. So that's why you're probably not seeing her comments. And that's why we like to say where people are commenting from, because everybody always won't see whose comments are what. Because we get comments from Facebook and Twitch and maybe Twitter and YouTube and all of that. So,
well, that's another interesting comment. I don't know a single Norwegian who likes black metal.
Yeah, well, Miles, you might not know any Americans who like black metal. Might be.
Anyway, this guy's a star.
Yeah, he's a star.
He's got all the Elvis moves down. He's got it. So, all right, next. I remember this act too, and this one would have been memorable for me, because I remember this girl that they always were tossing around. And I don't know if you could see it, but she's the one that's sticking up in the air. And it was like she was just a toy that the group was tossing around. So obviously she had to be little to be the object. But it was impressive, though.
This act is really good. I mean, this is a show you go to see.
Yeah.
And when I watch, I just think of, again, I just hate to put people down, but it's, we're professionals that do this show. So this is what we do. Is on the show the week before, and they have the family dancers, and they all come on, and it's just like the kids dancing with their parents. I'm like, and they go through and go, how do you compare that to this?
You don't.
I'm like, these are just random people dancing. If you're going to come on the show to be a dancer, you better be this.
Hey, as a matter of fact, that family, I got to think, was that him? He actually responded to one of my posts.
Yeah.
Jeff something or another. The guy who runs that group.
Okay. Well, we
And-
still like you.
Yeah.
We just don't think you're as good as these other dancers.
So maybe he's the professional in the group and made it work.
Yeah.
So kudos to him. But as far as that particular act goes, yeah, this one was a lot better with the Zurcaroh people. All right, onward and upward. Number 6, Shin Lim,
Shin Lim.
who won AGT. Now, I didn't know what this FISM is. I guess there's a magician show or something in Canada.
Huh. I don't know what that is either.
And he won that particular thing in 2015. So I find it kind of curious that he was on America's Got Talent when he was already, I think, on his way to stardom. They kind of, hey, will you be on our show just to make us look good?
Yeah, I mean, he's so good. I remember when he won. I remember this audition, and I love magic anyway. So this was just memory lane, and it's just awesome. And there you go.
Well,
I don't have anything else to say about it. It's just cool.
no. And he had his look with that funky hair. It's like he just got up out of bed or something, but I'm sure that probably hairspray or something he puts in that hair to make it stick up there. This one, this guy, I mean, he was on there because of the story. 36
Yeah,
years.
100%.
And he was all over the news because I remember I went to look him up when he was on the show. I got out my computer and he was like on, talk shows and every place that particular year before he was on AGT. So,
yeah, this guy was a good person to have on for publicity. He's not a bad singer. I mean, he's not like someone who'd be famous or something, but he's decent enough. And he has a good story. It's a feel-good story, but that's kind of what it is.
yeah, he's in my opinion, he's kind of faded as far as popularity or importance. He's not really current.
Well, I would assume so.
Story,
I wouldn't assume he would have held on popularity-wise.
Well, he did a little bit. I mean, there's still things out there with him on it, but and he made a name for himself. So,
if anything, I feel like he would have held on as just somebody they're going to do a book on or a made-for-TV show about or something more than a musician.
right, I can see that.
He has a cooler story than voice.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that's what I'd assume.
but he did get a call from Elton John too. So,
Yeah.
all right, this is everybody's favorite.
Men with pans.
I remember this act too, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? Why is this on TV here?" But two comedians is what they are.
I love this act. This has Vegas written all over it. But I mean, it's a 21 and over show.
Right.
It's a 21 and over comedy show where that's going to include strong sexual situations and language and nudity, and it's going to appeal to a certain audience that you're going to have. It's not a family show. I'm surprised they put this on a family show on AGT. I liked it. I think there's a definite audience for it, but it's not a family show. But
No, it's not. No, it's not. But Trisha says it was so funny. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give her that. It was hilarious to a degree, but for my taste,
Yeah, I'm into it. I would pay to see this.
You
So-
would?
Yeah, I'd go. But yeah, I mean,
You're a pan kind of guy.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm kind of panny anyway. So, I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna like it. So,
Golden Buzzer, the Mayyas. This was actually a pretty cool looking act, in my opinion. That's why I understood why they got the Golden Buzzer. And there's been a couple I think another group that was on this year that was kind of a, I don't know, copycat or act or something. But this one was unique at the time we saw it.
This is quite possibly the best act I've ever seen on AGT.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mayyas was so good. When the season they were on, right when I saw that audition, I go, nobody's going to beat them. Hands down, I've never seen anything like this. And it's so good. And I was right. Nobody beat them. And then even rewatching, I'm like, this is so much better than anything I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And like Trish said, this is my favorite act ever. Yeah, I mean, this act is just unbelievable. The way they can dance, the way they can move, it is like mesmerizing. And to see this live, I would assume.
Oh, I bet it's fabulous. Yep. I would pay to go see it. So memorable, yeah. Memorable meaning I would take money out of my wallet.
Yeah.
To do this. So trying to remember what year. No, we didn't see that. Because we did go down there, I think in 20. What was the last time I went down there for the semifinals? Can't remember. Maybe my wife remembers, but
Sky Ranger in the YouTube chat said, agreed, best ever. So yeah, a lot of us are agreeing. Mayyas are the best. Because they're not just kind of good. I mean, this is...
No, they're really good.
Unbelievable.
Really good. All right. Musa Motha. This was another curious one that he's from Britain's Got Talent this year. So guess who's going to be coming to America's Got Talent? Probably next week. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he's on next week.
Well, look at something right here. Let's see. I'm seeing if Britain's Got Talent is on in the U.S. If anybody knows, put it in the chat. Because it seems like they're advertising Britain's Got Talent. So I don't see it, just a quick Google search. But I'm wondering if Peacock is maybe thinking about putting Britain's Got Talent on their app. And maybe they're hoping people go back and watch it. Because a lot of these other shows like Survivor and Big Brother and these other things on these apps, recently they've been putting like the Australian versions and the Canadian versions and all the other versions on their app for people to go back and watch. So I'm wondering if they're doing the same thing here. But this guy,
they're almost ruining the TV show by putting all the stuff up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, maybe it's the other way around where the TV show is already ruined, so they figure, well, we're not going to make any money unless we put it up now. I don't know.
This act, though, was just kind of boring to me. I didn't like it. It's, again, a little inspirational. The guy has one leg, but he didn't really do anything cool with one leg to me. So, I don't know. Again, good story. Why he got the golden buzzer, I don't know. I find it impossible to believe this was the best act.
Well,
so,
I can explain the golden buzzer. Because they do the golden buzzer often for people who may not have ever got an opportunity to be praised with their particular situation or condition or problems they have in their life. So, even though it was great that it was on there. I mean, how many people? I don't know anybody with one leg who would go out and dance on a stage. So
no, me neither. I mean, it takes guts, and it's not even that it's bad or anything. It was just boring to me. So I don't know. Again, nothing against him. I just wasn't into it.
Well, dancing.
I wouldn't even put it through, much less give it a golden buzzer.
Well, dance is a hard thing that I have watching. I mean, I can't watch the what's that called? So You Can Dance or whatever.
Yeah, So You Think You Can Dance. Yeah, I don't like it either. So
yeah,
I'm not a big dance fan. You really got to do something.
I mean, I like to dance, but I can't really stand watching people dance. I mean, that's not entertaining. That's like watching golf. So
yeah.
All right, number one.
We
There
all
we
knew it
go.
was coming.
Oh, he fell.
We all knew it was coming for number one.
So, and I understand. Oh, this is number two. Did I make a mistake there?
No, this is number one.
I goofed with my.
Yeah, you goofed the number, but
I didn't pre-read that very well. Yeah, and I can see why they left her for last. I mean, she is the one, once again, that legitimized, I don't know if that's the right word, America's Got Talent. She's the one who put AGT on the map, in my opinion. Someone from just a plain person who was a nobody appeared on the show and, became famous basically overnight.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about her is she was legitimately didn't have the look, stood in the line, somehow got on the show. She's like the 1 in 10 million that would do this. America's Got Talent. I'm trying to look. It started in 2006. So the American version. So this is 3 years after the American version. So this would be 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, this would be season 3 of the America. So yeah, this is probably really what got everybody watching.
Yeah. And I remember working in in the music industry and hearing Susan Boyle's like, who on earth is that anyway? Because I didn't watch AGT back then. And but I remember the name being thrown around all over the place. Oh, you got to listen to Susan Boyle. Oh, she's great, and blah, blah, blah. And, I didn't have the foggiest idea who she was at the time. So.
Yeah, it's crazy because I was watching that audition and, you close your eyes and you think of this really kind of attractive 21-year-old girl standing on a Broadway stage or something. And then you open your eyes, you're like, oh, it's this person, right? And I think good for her to be able to make it. I mean, not a lot of people can. She wasn't young. She didn't have the look. She didn't have the swagger. She didn't have any of it. She just had the voice and she did it. And I say, that's great.
Yeah. That's what the show is all about. I think it's these kind of people.
And now we're just recruiting everybody and we're getting a lot of good looking people on the show and all of these things. But yeah, this is what America really wants. This is what we eat up, is the person we don't expect.
Right. Yep. Not someone who's been in Vegas for 10 years or they traveled with the circus professionally and then the elephants got taken away, so they lost their job. Those are the professionals. So any case, all right. I really like her voice and, I don't know what else there is to say other than that's what I wish AGT would go back to.
Yeah, me too.
And that being said, I noticed when I went to look at the social media followers for all these acts in this memorable show, most of them, their social media followers is smaller than probably half of the acts that they brought on to the show this season.
Interesting. Yeah, because they're using the acts to get them more followers rather than the other way around.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Now, granted, back in 2009, I don't think social media was that big of a thing.
Well, that's about when like Twitter was getting started.
Yeah.
And yeah, Facebook was probably right around that. I think Facebook, I'm guessing, I'm not Googling this, but I'm guessing Facebook's probably like 2007, 2008-ish, probably somewhere right in there. And before that, we had MySpace, but that wasn't much of anything as far as promotion goes. So you're really looking at the invent of Facebook and Twitter, especially that kind of get that social media boom.
Or if you watch, was it not CSI? What show was it? Criminal Minds. Anyway, case one of those murder shows, whodunit things. They called it Face Page. That was the item that they made up for that show. Anyway.
All right. Well, that's about our time. So As always, thanks everybody for watching. Whether you're watching live or you're going to watch the replay of this, find us live every Thursday night, 6 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Mountains, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. We're two freaks doing a show talking about all things AGT. If there's other things you'd like to hear us talk about, or there's people you'd like to have us have on the show, go ahead and throw it in the comments. If you don't see the live chat in the replay, just put comments in the YouTube section. And if you really like us, give the video a like. Go ahead and subscribe to the channels. That really helps us. You can find the Miles Revolution anywhere you want. You can find it on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. YouTube is always the best place, I'd say. We also have a Facebook page, Two Freaks Doing a Show, AGT. You can join on Facebook if you want to talk more about this show and AGT in general. And if you want to follow me personally, you'll see my name right there. My Twitter handle is MixalamOfficial. You can see what I'm up to in my life and other things I might have going on in the future, as well as AGT talk and things that have to go with this show. So that's about my spiel for the end here. Miles, anything else you want to throw in?
Nope. We certainly appreciate the viewers, and we appreciate Lance Armlong for coming on, and look forward to additional guests, and look forward to especially for the next show, AGT, next Tuesday. They should have, once again, the normal acts on, or abnormal acts, whatever you're wanting or hoping for. And we'll see you then next Thursday.
All right. See you later, everybody.
See you later. Have a nice